What's up, guys? Mike Eyman here, your roofologist, coming at you from Nimble HQ. And today we're going to be doing a product review. First off, the unboxing. This is a pretty new vent on the market, roof vent on the market, made by RoofiVent. This is what I'm calling the Turbine 2.0. It's a polypropylene turbine vent, and let's dig in. So this right here is the actual turbine itself. So let's check this. So I actually saw one of my roofing buddies, Andrew, who runs a roofing company out of Memphis, post about this, and so I was intrigued. So I reached out to Pavel, one of the owners of RoofiVent, and asked him, hey, look, would you like me to review it and torture test it? So we're going to be taking this stuff out to the shop later and hitting it with some pretty high wind and some hail and frozen tennis balls. So during the wind speed test, we're going to be hitting it with 220 mile-an-hour winds. And so if one of these fins dislodges, as you can see, we can just very simply line it up and oops, pop it back on. So the good thing about this is, as you can see, it has a bubble level on the top, right? Which helps with the alignment during the roofing process or installation process. It'll make sure that you have it straight up and down. Internal sealed bearings. One thing that I hate about regular turbines, traditional turbines, is that they get gummed up with dirt, dust, debris. They end up squeaking, and metal on metal, it's just never a good situation. So that's part of the reason why I was really intrigued about this product. So outside of that, we have the internal guts of it, which actually goes inside here. And then we also have a static version. So this has no moving parts inside, but also has the levels on top. Make sure you're aligning it up. And yeah, that is pretty much it for that section. Let's see what else we got in the goodie bag here. They also sent me a vent that I didn't even ask for, which is what I'm calling the Lamborghini of gooseneck vents. It's pretty interesting. I'll show you guys that here in a moment. First things first. All right. So looks like we have some similar products, but instead of the first one that has more of the bubble type turbine, this one has a more linear, straight up and down. Same concept, polypropylene design, very streamlined, man. I really like this, just first impression. So we'll see how it deals with the torture testing we do. Then, of course, you have the flange, and on this we have this so you can accommodate several different pitches of roof. And that really is the last of this box, I believe. Got some sticky stuff at the bottom here. All right, so this looks like it's going to be the application for a metal roof, because we have some adhesive, looks like almost like butyl tape, to affix to a metal roof. So you get a couple different options in there, but ultimately, first impressions, it's looking good. I'm really liking the ability to fix the fins. They're not made out of metal, so they're not going to indent. They're not going to dent in, and they're easily fixable in the event that they come loose. All right, so this is the bonus round, right? So RoofiVent was gracious enough to actually send me their new gooseneck vent, which is application for like dryers and whatnot. And so this thing I'm calling the Lamborghini of roof vents, because I mean, look at that thing. I mean, it's really sleek design. So let's open this thing up and see what we got here. Oh yeah, yeah. Now, as far as roof vents go, as far as gooseneck vents go, I think that's it's pretty nice. The only concern I have is lint buildup with these fins here, but I think the openings may be big enough to accommodate, and that may not be a problem. Obviously, when you're dealing with roof vents or with gooseneck vents, specifically for dryers, lint buildup is a big deal, and so that would be my only concern, but I have not yet seen this in application. But if you see those fins, the gills, if you will, looks like, you know, a large chunk of that is going to come out. So We'll also be testing this in the shop, so we'll see what the wherewithal looks like. So I mentioned earlier about the internal bearings, and that's obviously really important. The bearings on the top of a traditional turbine are at the top, which again, dirt, dust, debris get in there. As you can see, this shaft has an internal bearing down here. So what that means is that if this damages, you can just simply take it off, put it back on, put the cap on, which has that bubble level in it, and we're back. All right, so now that we have these mocked up, I do have to put some set screws in there to make sure that they're stable. We're gonna put them on our backboard, take them out to the shop, and let the torture testing begin. We got the two Canons behind us, the AR Canon and the Hailraiser Canon. We're gonna hit it with 85 mile an hour frozen tennis balls and around about 150 mile an hour 2-inch ice balls to simulate hailfall. We're also gonna hit it with the strongest leaf blower on the market, the Echo PB9010T, which blows out exhaust at 220 miles an hour, so I think we're gonna give this stuff its run for its money. So let's check it out. All right guys, so now that we're in the shop, target board here, everything's lined up, assembled. What we're gonna be doing is the wind speed test. So what I have here is the Echo PB9010T, strongest leaf blower on the market, 220 mile an hour coming out the nozzle. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start away, work ourselves toward the vent, and let's see what happens. Kind of a catastrophic failure. However, two things is the fins can be put back on, and I would argue that at 220 mile an hour, you probably don't even have a roof left. So the last thing we need to worry about is the vent. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch things up. We're gonna move over to the other vent, which does not have this, this curve to it, so it may fare better. So let me flip it around and we'll get started on that. It looks like this stuff is good, but it's only as good as what the weather's going to give you. So weather's not really going to hit you at 220 mile an hour wind. I hit this thing full throttle and it exploded and hit my man Jared. So sorry about that, buddy. You're good, bro. All right, so we are now doing the impact testing. So what I got here is a little over 2 inches ice ball mold. I then put it in ice ball press. Give it a couple seconds, a little bit of pressure. It's gonna compress it down to a 2-inch ice ball, which I'm gonna be able to unload out of our Hailraiser Canon. Almost there. And I think there we go. All right. So hail typically is not spherical exactly like that, but for the sake of testing, we're gonna assume that it is. So we have this at 65 PSI, which with our ballistics chronograph measures in at about 150 miles an hour. So let's see what the standard turbine does. Here we go, in 3, 2, 1, 1. So, yeah, impact taken. We ripped the rivets on 2 of the fins, which, unlike the 2.0 version here, they cannot be repaired. And in 3, 2, 1. So obviously the fins came off. We've got 2 dislodged, and we go back. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. So if you have damage, unlike the turbine here that is just completely jacked, this one back. So let's continue our destruction. All right, so the next tool that we're going to be using in our testing is an AR platform with a Canon. This is actually designed by X Products to shoot like 12-ounce cans of soda and other things. But what we've done, you toss me a ball over there. So what we've done is I initially tried with a tennis ball, but the reality is that as the pressure builds up in the back, the expansion creates friction on the barrel, and ultimately we don't have much of a shot. So what I've done is I took a meat syringe, filled it with water, frozen them. So now they're hard as a rock. So when they hit these things, it's not going to be squishy. So, all right, so we should be good to go. All right, 85 miles an hour. We did have a complete failure. Let's go see if the thing can be put back together. Okay, so it does seem to have broken the sealed bearing. As I mentioned earlier during the unboxing, this thing has a sealed bearing system, unlike the turbine, whose bearing is really exposed, gets gummed up. So I don't think, I mean, we may be able to slide it back in there. I mean, it still works. But I would say at this point it's going to be compromised because that thing is unsealed. At very least, the longevity is going to be affected because the oil is going to leak out and it's not going to be sealed anymore. So at the end of the day, though, we still have a vent, and it doesn't, well, yeah. So you can see the oil right there. Yeah, so that's definitely going to affect the longevity. It's ruined, but in the interim, you can put it back on, and that way you're not getting water in your house. All right, so for our next shot, I'm actually going to aim for the flange itself, similar to what I did with the Hellraiser cannon, just to see if I can break the separation between the top and the flange itself. So here we go. So as you can see, direct hit, didn't do anything, solid ball, 85 miles an hour coming out of this this cannon's here. So I think we're good. Let's try it again. I'm actually going to I'm going to do the same thing with the flange on the traditional vent, and I can almost guarantee that it's going to go straight through. So let's check it out. Bingo. All right, complete failure, and unlike the RoofiVent, you ain't putting that back on. So yeah, that one is done for the day in testing. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to hit this gooseneck vent. I will admit I'm going to try to hit it on the top because I know that if I hit it in the grate, it's going to punch the grate in. And realistically, hail is not going to come this direction. I really probably should have oriented it upside down. But in the interest of shooting, we're just here to destroy it. So let's check it out. Okay, well, I missed. All right, so direct hit. I mean, I think that's the good thing about these RoofiVents is that they damage, but in most situations, the most realistic nature-given situations, that you're gonna be able to put them back together. The fins on this one just literally. So I was speaking earlier about the lint situation. This would be an easy fix. Pop the top off, remove the lint out, and keep it moving. So definitely something that I like about these vents. All right, so where we are now is the fins are repairable. We haven't yet demolished those to the point of non-repairability. The flange itself, sturdy. We popped the top off, broken the internal bearings, the sealed bearings. So I'm gonna hit it right at the top and see if I can just splay this thing. As I mentioned, the point of this is destruction. So let's do it. Okay, so we do have quite a bit of separation here, but give it enough time because none of the internal pieces are sheared off. I'm not going to do it for the camera, but yeah, this could be put back together. The bottom's easy enough. The top's going to be a little tricky just because it's hard to get your hand in there, but you can see the bottom's still good. The top just needs to punch in. So basically you need something long to fix this. But ultimately, I could put this back on top and it would spin. So if we're looking at a comparison between the two, it is obviously RoofiVent. All right, guys, well, that concludes our testing for the day. As you can see, RoofiVent prevailed. Not really a turbine fan as it stands, but with this stuff, traditional, it's obviously not the way to go. If I did have a client, or do have a client in the future asking for roof turbines, has them, and really wants to go back with them, definitely going to be recommending RoofiVent. You can pick these up at roofivent.com. I believe they're about $135 plus tax and shipping. Come in 3 different sizes and 5 different colors to accommodate whatever type of shingle or other material. Obviously, the other flange is for a metal roof, so this can really accommodate, you know, any type style. As far as the gooseneck vent, definitely impressed. The other ones are made of metal. That's great. They are not easily taken off. So as you can see, when we destroyed this one, popped the top off, we were able to put this back on. So guys, check it out, roofivent.com. Big shout out to those guys for sending us this stuff, and we'll talk to you on the next roof.